Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Stitching Tales. I am Johanna Lundström.
And I am Malena Hjerpe.
And today we thought it should be nice to do another update on what's been going on in our sewing business. Because the last update we did was episode 5. So if you want to go back to follow our story, we're trying to take our sewing business to the next level. I highly recommend you go back and you can hear some of the things that we were talking about then. And hopefully and thankfully, I think, some of the things that we talked about in the last episode, at least for Malena, has actually materialized. So, Malena, what has been going on since we last did an update?
I think when we last did it, I just launched my free PDF pattern Malvati. And it's been really fun to see how many of you have subscribed to my newsletter. Really appreciate that. It's been so much fun. So I'm really looking forward now to see some Malvatis on Instagram as well. I hope you use the hashtag so I can check it out. But no, it's been really fun to actually launch something again. It's been forever since my last, I think it was like 3 years ago or something. So it's really, it's been a while.
So how many people have signed up for the newsletter to get the Malvati?
It's actually close to 600 now, which I'm really surprised by. And the funny thing is, like, the first couple of days, it was when I only wrote about it in my own Instagram. It was like 50 people. But then I added in some Facebook groups that where you can share free patterns. I added it there, and then we also we talked about it in the podcast, and so then things started to happen. So you need to go outside of your own bubble, I think.
Yeah, definitely the lesson learned there. That also the one that I keep harping on, you can't rely on Instagram only. I think that was confirmed, Malena, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you can see it's so fun since I got my website now as well. You can actually read the statistics there, and the majority of visitors comes from Facebook. And I mean, I have my own Facebook page as well, but I don't think I even written about it there. So it must come from this group. It's a Swedish group even. So it's mostly from there. And then I see a lot of international people, and then I guess it's from your channels. So it's kind of fun to. I kind of like those like statistics. You can really do some research there. I really enjoy those things. Sounds a bit nerdy, but yeah, I do enjoy it.
Yeah, I know. You're also a bit of a math nerd, right? I know that you love. I remember when I first got to know you, you said that you were really into math, which honestly I don't know that many people.
Well, I mean, I'm not very good at math, but like it comes very natural to me. Like my whole when I went to school and everything, like math was like, well, I mean, it's rules, and there are just those rules, and you follow those rules. Like with language, it's like, oh, then there's these 11 exceptions from the rules, and it's like, how are you gonna keep track of that? So no, math is like, it's logic. I like that.
Yeah, and that's true. You know, the stats doesn't lie either, right? That you can see now that when you went outside your own audience, which is primarily on Instagram, right? And you went outside that and went to a group that was outside your own community, and also with the help of the podcast, we're reaching more people, and you've also been able to reach more people because I also posted it on YouTube, and I've seen a lot of people, if you're watching on YouTube, because we also do a video version of this podcast if you want to see how we look when we are recording this. And there were lots of comments there as well, you know, that people were downloading the pattern. So it's definitely, it again shows how it's really, really hard to grow if you're just trying to grow within your own audience group. It's such a slow process. So yeah, I mean, that's why people go on national TV, at least in the olden days, you know, you could just get so much more exposure if you had like this big platform to be upon. And we're not on national TV yet, but at least we have like reached hopefully a slightly larger audience. And did you have like a fantasy number when you released the pattern? Did you have any type of idea of what did you have, like this number? Or
Yeah, I wanted to reach over 100. So yeah, I succeeded there pretty quickly. But now I come to the next stage, and it's like, okay, now I need to send out my first newsletter. What is gonna be the pressure?
Yeah. So what is gonna be about?
I have no idea. No, I got lots of idea. Many ideas. It's just I have to write some blog posts first, so I have something to write about in the newsletter, or I need to finish my next pattern that I'm actually working on. And I'm right now on my cutting table over there. I actually have the photo samples. So, and I've done the actual PDF pattern. It's almost done. So now it's just the sewing instructions. So fingers crossed that my first newsletter will be, hey, I launched another pattern. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah. And I know I said earlier that, I want to do like every month a newsletter. And as soon as I said that, I was like, yeah, that's never going to happen. Sorry. Maybe every other month if I'm like pushing it. So yeah, please don't hold me accountable for the every month. That was a wish. That was a dream. You know, you can have dreams, but yeah, no, reality, no. Not never gonna happen.
Yeah, it's interesting because when we did a recent episode about newsletter, episode 4, I think, we talked about the process of starting a newsletter and frequency and everything, and we got some feedbacks in the comment section saying that people really like, you know, a regular publishing schedule, such as once a week or maybe once a month, every fortnight, and we totally agree with that. That's exactly the way you should do it. But in reality, you know, as we talk about a lot on this pod, we are primarily one person team. So in reality, we know all the things we should be doing and how often we should be doing it in order to grow our business. But the reality is that we don't have the resources or the time to actually run the business the way you should be doing all the time. Right.
Yeah, no, but you have to prioritize your time, and unfortunately you can't prioritize everything. And right now I'm really prioritizing getting this pattern done, because I'm in the moment now with like I'm in the zone basically when I'm working with it, and I don't want to stop, because then you know it always takes so much time then to get back into it. So I really want to like focus on getting this one done. Then I can focus a little bit more on social media and writing blog posts and stuff like that. But right now I'm like all my headspace is in the next pattern. So I just like I want to finish that one before I can move on to the next thing.
And now I'm going to give you some advice there, because I don't think it's a good idea to wait until you release your next pattern to start the newsletter, because then you don't show any range of content. The first newsletter is basically just the pattern, right? It's the pattern files, and then the next you're sending out is another pattern. So you don't build like a relationship and an audience and usefulness. So that's what we all struggle with, because we always raise the bar too high. So what you should do now, I'm not saying you, is that you should just lower your bar of the type of content you want and just give like a helpful quick tip. So just one blog post and that's all you have. There's a balance also between pitching products and building relationship, and I think you have to like be on the right side of that, because if you just have news, then you don't get the newsletter. People are subscribing also because they want to get like helpful content. So I would definitely do other type of content before you release the pattern. So otherwise it's just going to feel like you're getting it's just about new patterns, right? That's not the reason why they should subscribe to your newsletter. It's because of your knowledge and because they are curious about what's happening.
Yeah, but that's totally understand that. And time-wise, I think that would be really good then to... I'm planning my schedule here in my head as we speak. When I send out the pattern to testers, then it will be like 10 days when I can't work on it. So during that time, then I aim to send out my first newsletter about, well, something else then.
Yeah,
so that's a good suggestion. I will try to do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Well, of course, we're going to keep you updated because we don't always do as we say, because that's just how things are.
Plans and dreams are one thing, and then the reality hits you.
Yeah.
But how about you? What's been happening for you?
Yeah, I've been actually just started working on my next sewing pattern. I have sewn one sample with the help of you because, as I mentioned in the previous episode, Malena, you are the one also drafting the actual sewing patterns for me, the pattern files. So I've just sewn one sample and you've done some alterations, and this weekend I'm gonna sew up the next sample. And I feel really, really good about this pattern because it's such a easy make, but it looks quite dressy. So what it is a pair of dressier pants, but you sew it in like a stable jersey, maybe like a Ponte di Roma jersey, or you can also sew it in some softer sweatshirt fabric, wool fabric, any type of more stable French terry knit fabric. And the thing is that it has pockets and it has darts in the back, but it has elastic waist. So from far you won't be able really to tell if it's a knit pair of pants or a pair of woven pants, but they are very, very comfortable, and I feel super how should I say it? I feel really like I have a good feeling about this. I think it's going to be a good end product, but of course always when you're releasing a pattern, it's difficult to see is there a market, and I always do. I don't. Even though we both talked about how we like to release sewing patterns that we are very fond of ourselves and something we would like to wear because you get tired of doing the same thing over and over. I always, I should say that I always do market research. So, for instance, on a lot of like the more high-end big brand stores in Sweden, they now have a version of this pants, and usually it's so a little bit flared or a little bit straight. So it's more of a wide leg pant than a straight leg pant or a narrow pant. It's straight leg or a little bit wider. So hopefully I will hit a trend that is like a steady, because a lot of people are saying, after the pandemic, I just want to wear like casual pants and joggers. So I thought maybe there is a space for that type of dressier knit pants that you could wear to the office if you're working outside of your home or wherever you're working. But they will be just as comfortable as you were wearing a pair of track pants at home. So that's my idea for this pattern. So I feel really, really excited about that. But since I'm not working with the same speed as Malena is doing, this is going to be a pattern release. We are recording this episode in the beginning of March, and the pattern won't be released until fall because it's more of a colder weather pattern. So I definitely want to match the season. So I'm going to work on it this spring, but I won't release it until after the summer.
Yeah, but sounds good to think of the launch date already now also. So you hit the right season. And of course the weather can be, temperature can be really different from place to place, but you also don't want to maybe release something in the middle of the summer when everyone is away on vacation. I don't know if you sew more, or I think people sew less maybe on the vacation if you travel or being with your family and stuff. So yeah, the timing can be a good thing to think about.
Yeah, I agree. And I should say, I think if I look at sales stats, I would say that the fall and early beginning of the years are my best selling month. I think from maybe September to November, December, and then maybe February and March it catches up a little bit, and it's definitely my slowest selling months are June and July, I would say. So yeah. I think that's probably, if you're listening and considering releasing something sewing related, you should probably not do it in the summer, because you won't get that kind of traction that you. Maybe I would, even if I were launching a swimwear pattern, I would still launch it like early summer or late spring, and not in the summer, even though you're probably not wearing it until summer, because people are just in a different mindset, I think. They don't want to be inside and sew, probably, even though they have more time, maybe.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think everything just slows down during the summer, and of course you need a little bit of time to, if you release a swimsuit, you need some time to sew it actually also. It doesn't happen instantly, and you need to buy the fabric and everything. It's just it takes a little while, and I always think like in the end of the summer, like beginning of the autumn, I think it's a fresh start. That to me is more like New Year. Yeah, that's a new start, but like when the school starts, that for me is mentally more of a fresh start. Like you get new projects again. You have rested during the summer, hopefully, and then you are like back to work again. I think that's more. I have more energy to start working again in that time.
Yeah, it's true. You feel kind of like, planning for the future and feel excited about stuff. Yeah, I totally agree. It's a new beginning. And also speaking about newsletter, I've because of the all the feedback that we got from our newsletter episode, I will now try to. I'm gonna knock on some big piece of wood here because honestly, it probably won't happen. But I'm gonna try to put out a newsletter every other week, so every fortnight. So after we recorded this episode today, I'm gonna start doing a newsletter. Hopefully it's gonna be sent out later this afternoon. So yeah, that's my goal, basically, to be really consistent about the newsletter. And also another thing, which because I'm not currently active on YouTube, just because, as Malena says, it's so hard to do all the things at the same time. And I also have day jobs. I have 2 different day jobs. I don't work full time anymore, but I still have two day jobs as well that I have to juggle. And so that's why I don't do YouTube anymore, or right now I should say. But now this is the thing is, we're releasing the pod now on YouTube, and a lot of people are watching it, and that's awesome. But the thing is that most people that subscribe to my channel are not primarily interested in a podcast about sewing and running a sewing business. They are interested in getting more sewing tutorials. So what's happening right now, because I'm releasing the video version of this pod every week, I lose quite a bit of subscribers. So
That's so sad to hear.
Yes, I know. And I also want to say a big thank you to everyone who's watching this video version on YouTube. It means a lot. So and we get so many comments and wonderful feedback on the video version. So we're definitely going to keep that. That's not the issue here. The thing is that for my subscriber growth, and also this is like a vanity metric, but there is a thing that is called, I think it's the silver play button. And if you have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, you still get one. And I'm like really, because there are so many people on YouTube now and they're growing. So it's getting like more and more people are getting that. So I'm fear for that we raise the bar. Maybe say you have to have 200,000 in order to get the silver play button. And the thing is, right now I am at about 93,800. So if my channel has its regular growth every month, I'm going to hit that goal by the end of this year. So, and I've had my YouTube channel since 2015, and this has been like a dream goal of mine. But the thing is, if I just keep releasing the podcast, that would unfortunately take me further from the goal. of getting handtrousers.
But do you get any like benefits from like extra features or something when you reach that mark, or is it just for your own mind?
It's 100% for my own vanity, and the validation, like the mental validation. I don't think subscribers can tell, but also you have to say, if you go to a YouTube channel and you see like 1,000K or whatever it would look like, it looks quite much better than 93,000. It's just a nice round number. It's like,
yeah, no, I totally understand that.
It's like when you have Instagram and you reach 1,000 followers, you know, it looks nice. And I remember when I hit 10K followers on Instagram, it's just a nice, I know it's stupid, but it kind of matters still. So, long story short, I need to figure out a way of releasing, going back to my Sunday video, because I always released sewing videos on Sundays. So this weekend I'm actually going to start recording some videos again and do a batch. So hopefully I can. So I'm going to try and release that and see if that can compensate for the fact that that I'm losing subscribers.
To those who want to have other information.
Yeah, exactly. So then they can feel confident they're going to get new sewing videos. Even though I think everyone should listen to our pod, apparently not everyone agrees.
Yeah, but I mean, people want different things, and then they are not your people.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just it's my very like vanity struggle right now. But yeah, I have a plan. We're gonna see in the next update. You're gonna hear if I manage to keep more subscribers.
Yeah, no, but like from a business point of view, also that makes total sense, because where do you have the most followers? It's on YouTube, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes total sense to actually make some content for YouTube channels then, of course, since you have your people are mostly there. So I mean, of course, you should definitely do that. Do you already know what you're gonna like talk about, or?
Yes, I'm gonna talk a lot about things that relates to our book Fit for Knits. Shameless plug, please check it out, links in the description section. It's a 5-star only reviews basically we have on Amazon, but it's going to be some content. I'm going to do like the ultimate tutorial on how to sew a neckband to a t-shirt. So that's going to take me forever, but I know if I make that video and I spend like 2 or 3 days working on it and editing it and doing it like super thorough and helpful, then it's going to be one of my best performing videos ever, because I have one about how to sew a jeans zipper and that's, I think it's closing in on 1 million views now, and it helps drive a lot of sales for my sewing jeans book. So it's a lot of work, but in the end it's going to pay off, I think. And also I'm going to do more like casual things, like tips, you know, about sewing with knits. It's going to be a lot of knit fabrics and knit tutorials stuff related, basically, and something. Hopefully, if we get to see each other later this year, we're going to also try to film some content for YouTube, right? Because that pertains to our book and fitting tips. So I'm really excited about that, because I also think that's going to be super helpful and a nice like companion to our book.
Yeah, definitely, because it's one, I mean, even though we have a lot of illustrations in the books, it's another thing to actually see it. And I mean, people obviously, when you Google and want to see how something is made, to actually see a video, it's another thing. It's so much easier to make things clearer when you actually show it on a video. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that neckband video. That sounds very interesting.
I hope. And also you have some other stuff going on as well. I don't know how much you can talk about, but can you say a little bit about pitching a sewing pattern to a publication, or
Yeah,
can you mention that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've submitted some design suggestion for Tauko Magazine. It's a Finnish indie pattern magazine, really nice looking. It's like really, it looks like, those high-end fashion magazines with like hard cover and everything. So yeah, they have like an open designers call. So you can apply, you can send in your design ideas, and then either you make the pattern yourself if you get chosen, or they can even make it for you. So the deadline is, I mean, now we are recording it in beginning of March, and it ends on Sunday. So when we air this podcast, it has probably that date has passed already. But they do this on a regular basis. I think they do it like every third month or every half year. I can't really say now. But yeah, a friend of ours actually got her design in the last magazine. So I'm like, okay, I want to try. And I don't know how many applies and if you actually, how big the chances are to actually make it into the magazine. But yeah, it's kind of a fun thing to because they have a theme for every how do you say number, every magazine
issue.
Issue. So you design something for that specific theme then. And I kind of like that because when you design something from thin air, it's like I get so designer's block. I don't know what to do. But if you have a theme, if you have something to start from, a framework, I really enjoy. So yeah, it was really fun. So we'll see how it goes. But have you thought of submitting anything there?
Yeah, I have, and because you mentioned that, and you said that one of the future planned issues are about jeans, denim.
Yes.
Yeah, so you said that, and I was like, I really got myself thinking, because if you listen to the previous episode, I definitely want to at one point release jeans sewing pants or trousers. So that was one of the things I consider, but then I felt like maybe I want to do something a bit more fashiony and fun. So I was thinking maybe do like a skirt using some details of top stitching, or maybe doing like a dress in denim but using some like traditional jeans details. So Malena, if I make a pair of jeans, that could of course probably be the most helpful for my brand, but I also feel like maybe that they would never accept that. I think it's too basic, if you know what I mean. I think it does have a bit of a profile, right, with a more like high level design. I mean, they don't, from my understanding with Tauko, they also look at like shapes and interesting design elements. It's not super difficult patterns to sew, but they definitely have like a point of view, in my opinion. So then I was thinking, should I do a skirt with something, or should I do a dress or a blouse? So my thought process is this like a bad idea, or is it a good idea to do some other type of garment? And which one would do you think maybe is the most likely to get like accepted, or you know, that point, a different point of view?
Like they have some how do you say, like you can't have designed this before, like it needs to be a new design. You can't like have shown this before, but you can submit several options. So you can, I mean, absolutely send a pair of regular trousers and then send something else. Like you don't just have to give one design idea. And I mean, I've looked through some earlier magazine, and in one there was a really like simple t-shirt, of course, with a little bit more updated silhouette. So yeah, I definitely think that there needs to be like maybe not the most basic pair of jeans then, But I mean, who knows, like what they are looking for. And if I were a magazine, I would want to have a spread as well, like some more classic styles, and then maybe some more fashion forward styles. So I don't know, but you can submit both several ideas.
Yeah, maybe I should try that and do maybe one more like a classic, because my thinking is because the 90s and early 80s is coming back, so we're gonna see the death of skinny jeans. I think I know a lot of you love it, so Malena,
I'm a millennial. I'll live in my skinny jeans. Come on.
Yes. Malena is, if you're not watching the video, she's making the scream from Edvard Munch, the famous Norwegian painter. You probably are familiar with this very iconic piece of art. That was Malena's face right now, if you weren't watching the video. But yeah, so what's going to happen now, of course, you're going to see so much more straight leg jeans. You're going to see more boot cuts. And I think you're also going to see more lower waist, so a bit more hip huggers things, and I think that the straight leg jeans is making a strong comeback, which is one of my favorite, because I never really was into skinny jeans, but I love straight leg jeans. So I was thinking maybe I could, because there's a slippery slope there between mom jeans, and also it's hard because a lot of people that are buying the Tauko magazine are grown-ups. They are probably not in their teens or early 20s, so they might not be, they might feel like they get like bad reaction towards the mom jeans. So I was thinking, how can I make this trend, like from a proportional perspective, enticing for someone in their 30s or 40s or 50s, that you could still feel like you were a bit on trend, but it's still a flattering silhouette, and you feel comfortable in it, so it's more up to date than skinny jeans. So I've been thinking about that like process is to get that kind of, because there aren't that many patterns out there yet, maybe to catering to that trend that I think is going to be massive for the next 5-6 years, and a less stretch also. And that's a good thing in a way, because that means that you will have more denim fabrics to pick from, because it won't be as tight, so you can probably get some denim that has very little stretch and still make it work. So that's my thought process about that particular pants. But yeah, Malena, what do you think?
You need to put everything on paper and send it in to them, and they said that as well, that I mean, of course, you as a pattern maker, you can submit your own patterns, but they also have their own pattern teams, so they really also want to highlight other designers as well, if that designer can't make their own patterns, that they have their own team that are able to do that as well. So go for it.
Yeah, thank you for believing in me. And also, if you're listening to this and you want to, I know a lot of people are probably considering that actually are listening to our pod, and you should definitely check that out, because they have open calls, as Malena says. You don't even have to you yourself draft the pattern or do the grading, because they can do that for you as well. You just have to do the design, and of course you will get paid less if you just submit the design, and if you, but they I think they still pay regardless, I think, right? It's just a lower sum, of course, because they have to do more work.
I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I have no idea how it works, but yeah, I think it's great support from them to actually to have that in-house as well. It's they open up for so many more designers then to be able to send in their designs. And again, I think this issue comes out, their issues comes out every 3rd month, I think, and they have a submission call now for 2 issues. So maybe if they have open call every half year, I don't really know, but yeah, on a regular basis anyway.
And also, you didn't mention what the themes were for the issues that you submitted designs to.
It was a denim, and then the other issue was crafting roots.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's crafting roots, that can be really denim. I think, we all have. Well, I think maybe kind of the same idea of what denim is, and then of course you can be how creative as you want. But crafting roots, that can really, like, they are they are an international magazine that sells in different countries, so this could be really like different designs. So that I'm really looking forward to see what actually ends up in the magazine at the end, because it's a very interesting theme, I think.
Yeah, and definitely, and it also opens up for more detailing, I think, because there are so many like techniques and everything from every country. You have shapes and embroidery or knitting techniques, so it's interesting to think about how that could be referenced within a garment, like specific ways and techniques that are unique for a region in the world. That's really interesting. I think it's going to be a lot of eye candy in that issue for sure. So you submitted to both, Meg. You submitted to both these calls. That's wonderful. And I realize now the denim is that the deadline on Sunday?
Yes. Yeah, both deadlines are on Sunday,
okay.
So you gotta start working.
Yeah, I won't make too many promises, but yeah, it's a good, it's a very good thing, and I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes open and perhaps getting my things together a little bit earlier than like we are recording this on a Thursday for reference, so it's actually just 4 days. Or 3, depending on. But yeah, so that's really, really exciting to hear, and fingers crossed now that you're going to have your first own sewing pattern in a pattern magazine, because we both, living in Northern Europe, growing up, we grew up with pattern magazines because those were the main sources of sewing patterns when we were young. And I think it's going to like full circle, Malena, if you had one of your designs in a pattern magazine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have my hopes up. There are probably a lot of other much more beautiful things sent in. But yeah, Burda was the only. I literally thought that was the only place to get patterns from when I was younger. Then I find some other magazines as well. I was like, okay, but that's the thing, pattern magazines. That's where you get your patterns from. So yeah, no, my view of where you get your patterns from has changed a lot since I started sewing when I was like 14, 15. So a lot of things have happened since then.
Yeah, for sure. And because we wouldn't even, probably neither of us would have been able to have a sewing pattern business back then, because there were no avenues to get something out there. I mean, we are also the product of the fact of the modern technology and the globalization of marketplaces, because otherwise it would have been really difficult unless we started our own pattern magazine. Also, there were some sewing pattern books also released, I remember, but it was extremely rare. And back in the days, we had a few sewing pattern companies as well that did paper pattern, but they all folded due to the recession in the 90s and the lack of interest in sewing as a hobby. So yeah, there were literally only one way of getting sewing patterns, and that was through the pattern magazines, and primarily Burda. So yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I as I said previously, I have a good feeling about this year now, Malena. So I wouldn't be surprised. We're gonna keep you updated regardless, right? Because we are keeping it real here. The disappointments as well as the triumphs. And we're going to have a cliffhanger. Did Johanna actually manage to submit a sewing pattern in less than 4 days? We'll see.
You can do it.
Thank you for believing in me. We'll see. But at least, if not, I'm very, very excited to hear about your journey with this. And we should also mention, Malena mentioned our friend. Her name is Josefine Hultén, and her brand is Ploen Patterns. And she has a design out, I think, in the latest issue, which I think is dedicated to movement. And I know she has some other stuff going on as well. So you should definitely check her out. Ploen Patterns. So we're going to link to her as well in the description section of this pod. So if you want to check her out, she's a fellow Swedish pattern maker. So yeah, anything else? We're going to have to make this episode a little bit shorter because we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, which one always do, So...
Yeah, no, for me it's just continue with the pattern, and fingers crossed you will soon get a newsletter from me. But don't hold your breath, please.
Yeah. I will hold you accountable in our next update, and you should hold me accountable if I've managed to keep this every fortnight newsletter, and also have Johanna actually managed to release a video on YouTube. We'll see. Okay, thank you so much for listening or watching as we talk about our journey of running a sewing business. My name is Johanna Lundström.
And I am Malena Hjerpe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.